Good morning, beautiful. I hope that you are well rested and ready to begin your day. This is your daily tarot oracle, your daily insight on life and love for February 11th, 2022. Also being timeless wherever you're catching this in time. This could be really relevant, horribly irrelevant. It could be somewhere on the spectrum. I'm not quite sure. But if you have found to stick around, you might enjoy the show. This is general collective. Don't force this to fit. This is presenting a challenge that you are going to have to address and overcome. So if this doesn't make sense, again, let it fall away. But if it makes sense, well, we're going to get the why and what's at the end of this road. So if you have questions about booking a session, because your individual storyline will always be more detailed, in depth, and intense, go ahead and find the provided email address or find me in the social platform. Send me a DM. Let's do this, because what I'm seeing here is your pure exhaustion and homesickness that's coming about. And this is stemming from, it feels years, decades old. A huge sense of missing a very karmic situation. I think that you've been feeling quite crazed about this for quite some time. Out of balance, what have you, like just depleted. Your energy's depleted. It's almost like you want to go back with your tail between your legs, but the thing is, you're not going to go back. What you're homesick for does not exist, and it is not real, and you are not going to suck yourself back into a situation that you were so desperate to get yourself out of. So with that being said, let's really look at this. Your defenses are up, and you just want to go back to something that is familiar. I cannot blame you for that. Going back to what seems familiar always seems to be like the right idea, and that's not the case. You're meant to grow beyond this situation and break really codependent patterns in your life. Now, this is not always going to be about relationship or drugs. It's going to be dealing with something that is a toxic connection of sorts. I'm just going to put it like that. The thing is, you don't actually want it. That's the thing. It's just familiar. It puts you back into even a simpler time, even if it was absolute garbage. Your mind is, I think it's doing two things. First off, it's lying about you actually missing whatever it was. And the second thing is, it's also trying to show you that it's not real and trying to keep you safe from making a big mistake in your life. A lesson that you've already learned, a place that you've already been. You don't need to be there. You've moved beyond this. You know that you don't want it. You are an entirely new cycle in life. You don't need to recreate these upsets. You've been sitting on the fence of whether or not you should or should not. Let me tell you right now, this is not where you want to go. You've come too far. You've been working on yourself too much. This is going to drop kick you right back into your insecurity realm. You don't need to go there. So you are, first off, smart, you're wise, you're insightful, you're beautiful, you're amazing and driven, and you're all those things. This is going to have you believing that all of that about yourself is absolute BS. And again, why are you fighting to be made small? What is safe about that? This is showing you for the controlling energy that it is. Whatever this energy is that is trying to repress you, it feels like it's semi-terrified of how big you could be, how thriving you could be. This is a sense of your consciousness that does not want to die out and is terrified to die out as you get bigger in personhood. I'm a firm believer that thoughts, life, everything has a sense of consciousness, and whether it's positive or perceived as negative, it wants to continue to have a sense of consciousness and a sense of awareness. So what I'm seeing in here is even that beating down energy inside of yourself that you had told yourself in the past, and going back to whatever that familiar toxicity and whatever the situation was. It's trying to maintain itself, trying to maintain its existence, its awareness, its consciousness in your life. Your higher self, the more that you have grown, it's starting to overwhelm and shut it down and dismantle whatever that was. So it's like the deception, the pain's last throes of existence before it's squashed. So that's probably while you're at odds with yourself. I know that that probably sounds crazy, but look at how it's trying to romance what this pain was. Like, oh, it's going to be different this time. No, it's not. You know it's not. So, well, I have a notification as I'm recording this. Someone sent me a message. I have no idea who it is. It's not telling me. All right. So this is saying you're taking the leap into the unknown after knowing exactly what it is that you don't want to leap into. So you will be leaping into a new direction. So that being said, your mind is like, no, we're not going back into the past. We're not going back to that situation. We're moving forward. Great, grand, wonderful. So what is it? Wait. Are we there? Are we there? You hear the beeping in the background. This is telling you to be cautious. Don't force yourself to learn a situation and learn a lesson that you've already learned. You don't need to pretend to yourself that you haven't learned from enough past mistakes. You know the past was riddled with mistakes. You know that life is riddled with mistakes, and moving forward, you're going to have even intelligent mistakes happen. This is saying going back is learning a lesson you've already learned. Knock it off. Knock it off with yourself. You don't need to repeat it. All right, fine. Enough berating them, Spirit. They're not going back. So how are they going to avoid this? How are they going to get through that desire? Let's light this beast up. Go get your coffee, your drink, get your food, whatever. Okay, so how are they going to work through this desire to go back? All right. A lot of things are going to shut down in front of you. You're simply going to not have the mobility to do it. You're not going to have the funds, either that or you're going to have whatever it is shut down in front of you. This might mean that some of you might have car trouble. Some of you might have financial trouble, and it's probably coming out of nowhere. Probably isn't real financial trouble, but it's probably something not making sense. So things are going to start to cause you whatever your access to the past mistake is. It's going to close it off. So that actually is going to be a sense of relief, because I see the hesitation in the desire to go back to that situation, but still trying to like talk yourself. It's just nerves. It's not real. It's going to be okay this time. And Spirit's like, I will mess with your bank account. I will mess with your license. Do not do it. And so it's like, oh, well, I guess I can't do it. You know, that huge sense of relief. The dogs are barking. This is giving you an escape. You're not going to be able to do anything but to continue the work that you were already doing. All right. You're going to be juggling a few things, but honestly, I see the drive to actually want to do it. You have a ton of options in motion that you are going to be working on. I see a lot of cranks going on with you right now. This feels like a pleasant distraction, because there is worry about whatever it was that you can't go back to. And I think that would have been there regardless. So there might be communication from whatever this past event is, and it's creating, you're seeing the tower moment, and it's calling for you to somehow rescue it. And you're like, I can't. You are going to see the crap show for what it was. This might involve people who are having some sort of a confrontation at odds. It's in some sort of chaos, upheaval moment, who are creating an emergency that is somehow affecting you. I don't want you to buy into it. It's not really something that is going to be an emergency for you, but they're putting a major projection on how this is an obligation to you. Don't buy into it. So I see that this, as you are being forced to work on the thing that you have been working on, going back into this, yeah. This is going to be a major sense of relief, like, oh, thank God I'm not completely screwed. All right, so as you're getting the clarity about the past thing and working on what it is that you had been working on, what are going to be some feelings that are coming up with this? that you dodged a bullet, and oh my God, have you grown, and thank God that you were able to move on and start again. This, you're not going to compromise anything for, you know, what it is that you are going after. Your future is not going to be held in question by past events. And I see that there's almost like this irrational, stupid threat of the past trying to jeopardize your future, either by some sort of taking a skeleton out of your closet, or it's trying to invoke some sort of fear in you. It's not going to happen. This is almost like a toddler tantrum from whatever the past situation was. But what I'm seeing in here is you actually not being intimidated by it, but seeing it for what it really is. And I think there's a major sense of appreciation coming through you, about you, onto you. So this is giving a new lease, and actually even more confidence in where you stand and what your ambition is moving forward. You are truly leaving this past stressor, past toxic situation behind, and it feels really good this time. I have such a sense of relief on my chest about this with you guys. It's like, thank God I don't have to go through that again. That's really beautiful. So, what are we doing? This stressor is a blessing in disguise. It was going to fizzle out regardless. If you would have gone back to that past situation, you would have been ricocheted right out of it. And you would have been so incredibly devastated by how fast that happened and hurt. And I think that there may be a feeling of foolishness around it. Like, I knew it this whole time. I knew it this whole time. How could I have done this? Spirit's like, get your crap together. I'm not messing around. This was stupid. This was a stupid move on your part. We have the never-ending story, and we also have co-create. You, my dear, have made the active choice in your life to move forward, and you are going on an entirely different wavelength. The past has died off, and now here comes a fast-moving future. We have the co-create, which is really me, making me feel like you're not alone in this. And also, this is going to involve some of your biggest teachers. I feel like they're going to be breaking your heart wide open in a very progressive manner. This is somebody who's going to show you so clearly how much you have grown. I don't think that this particular soulmate in reverse is about the past one. I think that it's the people who are going to be helping you in your future endeavors, because they're stripping away all of those layers on top of you that has started to fester. It feels like a rotted onion, weirdly enough. You know, I grew up in Vermont, and for the first 17 years of my life, and it was always said onion, onion. Moving to New York, 10 years into it, I said that in front of this person, and they started laughing at me in front of a group of people. They're like, where's the G? So since that day, I've always been mindful not to say onion, onion. Isn't that weird how somebody can have that effect on you? Some of our biggest teachers. All right. So I see life prevented you from so many opportunities to go back, and this feels like the biggest aggravation with you. And I think that you kind of knew, just based off of how nonsensical and aggravating all of these shutdowns were, that this was some sort of divine intervention, and that you knew that you don't understand, but you knew that Spirit had a hand in it. So this is saying that your treasure lays further down the road, and that you need to be completely honest with who you are. If to nobody else, you need to be honest with yourself. So this is saying you've got to come to the edge. You've got to be ready to jump into these waters, sink or swim. And then I feel this card. What's this? Has life always been like this hard for you? Has it always been like an agitation and waiting for something to just kind of fall apart at your hands, well, in your hands? Like, life is always going to be hard work. Life is always going to be a POS. And it's just, we got to live through it. I see that you are being told to let your mind drift and wander and follow where it goes. We have law of attraction, which is flipped in reverse for whatever reason. And then we have trustworthy guidance. So your snarky, awesome spirit guides, notice the signs. They're about to curb stomp them into you because they don't care. If you've been completely oblivious to them or acting like you are oblivious, don't think that you've gotten one over on them. Perfect timing is at play, and you are going to ask for whatever this gift is. And I think that you're asking for help to surrender because you're not quite sure how to get over this hurdle of what it is that you truly desire. Some of you, this is going to be a wedding. It might be romantic, it might be love, it might be a huge commitment on your part, but I really just want to focus on the idea of releasing to the commitment that you actually want, the one that you really want to sign up for. So I'm not feeling any more of these cards. Where am I being drawn to? Okay, we got this one again. So in regard to the commitment that you're about to undertake, which is what you genuinely want, what do we need to know? It's going to take you a long time to be fully okay with this, to fully move on with it. The healing with you is happening very slow because I'm seeing that you have a really hard time in trusting. This trust is going to be something that you want on substantial ground, so you're not going to try and take the fast road with it again. Okay. Where are we going? My eyes are burning. I swear to God, I'm pretty much, oh no! I'm pretty much hotboxing myself with sage and incense in here. So what do you have to look forward to with this? This, for some of you, is going to be the long-term commitment. Some of you have either recently or are about to find their person and get over some really traumatic relationships in their life. Some of you are here in constructing new family dynamics, getting away from insufferable family dynamics before. So a new passion is completely underway. None of these connections are going to look like anything that you'd imagined. It's not going to be any sort of idealism. You can idealize it all you want, but the commitment is going to show you how different something can be and how much work can be done in these connections to not only be understood, but to be compatible and to reach a new understanding. This is something that is continually about growth and building new pillars in your life. So this is having a major sense of hope and restoration. You don't get this star card unless you've been through the hellfire. And we're getting it right next to the Queen of Pentacles, which is all about nurturing, grounding, blossoming in your personhood. This is such an ascended love that's coming through that's so emotionally fulfilling. And honestly, there's a lot of idealism about what these relationships are, when honestly, it's just the most beautiful, comforting, full of integrity, honest, truthful connections of your life. Then we have the Two of Cups energy with it. So this is emotional fulfilling on both sides. There's so much work, but there's so much time and effort that is thrown into this. And all I see around it is learning how to compromise and not having it be the end all be all in life. I see nothing but working to rise above personal limitations that have been set before you. Okay, the incense is out, fine. Kind of rude, but whatever. I need to get more incense. You know, I had like over 400 sticks and now I think I'm around 100. Starting to feel the pressure. Yeah, I'm the kind of person who needs to have a plethora of it just to feel comfortable with it. It's weird, I know. Okay, so the message in the bottle. Rising above this message in a bottle. This is about breaking away from what is not serving you and stepping into a new life. You are truly having an ego death, an identity crisis, which it's really going to have a grieving moment for this past life, but it wouldn't feel so dire right now if you weren't ready, which I think is why part of you wants to run back to the old and familiar, because this is the stand up or step aside time, and Spirit is trying to tell you that you need to be very careful about what you wish for, because going back into the past, it's going to hurt. Going into the future is going into the unknown. And you have to do this by yourself. You have to make this decision by yourself in spirit only as your guide. So, final cards. I am not feeling this one. I'm feeling, no. What am I feeling? Okay, final cards. We are going with mermaids and dolphins. You are going to have higher standards and intentions and outlooks on life. You're going to have, working as a collaboration with whoever this is, higher manifestation. It's like the Midas touch. You're going to be working with your affirmations and protection. This connection that's coming into play is highly protected. We have alchemy. Ooh. The Midas touch right now, everything that you touch turns to gold. You really have a very complex and magical future. And that sounds incredibly whooshy, but it's all about empowerment. And then we have make a decision. Make a decision based on empowerment and not with fear. Your confidence and your empowerment is going to happen now moving forward. And I can guarantee you it's not happening just because of the new situation that has come into play in your life. This is stemming from how much you have changed and outgrown the previous situation. So I don't want to hear any more of it. Go get your future. It's waiting for you and you're worth this. This has been the Daily Tarot and Oracle, the daily insight on life and love for February 11th, 2022, also being timeless. Hopefully I didn't say 2021 at the beginning. I'm going to have to go check that. Anyway, yeah, again, if you have questions about booking a session, go ahead and find the provided email or the social platform. Send me a DM, see what services I provide, what might be right for you. Pricing, scheduling, time zones, yada, 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 this, that, the other thing. I look forward to hearing from you. Until next time, stay safe, have fun, and know that you're greatly loved and appreciated. I think that defensiveness has been the setting for quite some time with you. Sorry about that. Anyway, it looks like you're really working hard to move on in life, just in general, but you have a lot of hiccups. I'm seeing this as you working yourself to the bone, trying to distract yourself. I mean, it's a very addictive pattern of behavior, but I feel like it's necessarily dealing with work. Necessarily, it's particularly dealing with work is what I mean to say in this, but it's actually starting to show up in other areas of your life, being on the fritz, irritable, highly irritable, probably doing a lot of personal defensive tactics, maybe with everybody that you're interacting with. Maybe this is dealing with even people online. I get a weird feeling about that too. It feels like you constantly have to have something to stand up for. It's not really what's going on in the current environment. This is old ghosts that are popping up with you that you haven't dealt with yet. It's causing a disruption in many areas in your life, personal areas. But I see that this is something that you're starting to gain awareness about, because it feels like nothing is really fitting anywhere that you go, either whatever the projection is or what the emotion is. It just feels chaotic. This is the effort to get a lot of mental clarity on what is actually going on versus what this ghost feeling is that's going on. So it feels like you're starting to get that mental clarity and that adjustment over everything. And I see that whatever the stress is starting to de-escalate in your life. It does feel like there has to be like a sense of renewal that's going on with you, and I kind of want to look at that. So let's see, what's with the renewal? Okay. The renewal is seeing with what's one-sided and pulling back whatever it was that you had done or put into it and going a different way. So this It looks like it's going to be very different in character, well, whatever the characterization is, with what you had originally dealt with, whether it's a person or a job. I see that it's going to put you in a much different direction, but also it's no longer feeling like bad business. Whatever the imbalance is, I really feel like you are almost ripping it out of their hands and taking it another way. This feels like a gift that's being given to you from the universe too. So let me know how that turns out. It looks like you're saying, kind of in your own little way, F the status quo, or, you know, F tradition, F this, F that. But anyway, you're having a big case of the F-its, which I feel like is the best thing for you. So this, it looks like you are really starting to defend yourself, stand up for yourself, get a real sharp sense of where you belong, what your place is, what your value is. And I think that you are really being just completely forward with it. And it seems like a really awesome sense of arrogance. This amount of confidence that is coming from you is really starting to show you where in your life people have taken you for kind of like a gullible energy, an immature energy, probably unhinged even. People really were banking on that sense of ill balance, really is what I'm going with. There's a perception of you that is not accurate with the actuality of you, especially now. So I think that people are really banking on that emotional upsetability with you as a way to kind of stay bonded to them. This feels like a lot of either a trauma bond or just really toxic bond that's kind of been the MO between you and whoever these connections in your life have been. I really honestly don't necessarily feel like it has to be romantic. This has a lot of family front on it, I'm getting. So I see like there's a plan being put in motion, and this is for your best interest. It's strictly about your best interests, and it's also allowing you to kind of step into the compassionate mode, especially with these new lines that you are drawing. This is not going to be a quick fix with what you're connecting to, whether it's a connection in your life, family, friends, lovers, colleagues, it doesn't even matter. Whatever you are looking to connect to, this is going to be a slow healing connection, because you're looking at it for actually what it is rather than the old bond that it was before. So what I'm seeing with this, it's going to be healthier than the past levels of these connections, but it's going to be one where you are on constant alert of their motives. It's not something that's exhausting. It's just waiting to see if this energy is going to be up to standard with you and with what your new pace is going to be. Where did I put the cards? Oh, here they are. Okay, final card for this. There's a lot of new ideals that are going to be put in place where you're going to be able to see if this connection is going to be able to survive into the future. You're giving it the benefit of the doubt. No matter how you swing it, it's time to just be quiet, be still. Not be in your head, but be in a point of reflection. What I'm seeing here is a long journey in life that has not worked out. It hasn't been working no matter how much you have put into it. It hasn't been working no matter how much you have tried to perfect yourself. What I'm seeing in here is a lot of stress with being, it feels more like clinging to an ideal of yourself, your identity. Something about that you have held on to, it never really fit. And you tried to get this to go on for as long as you can remember. And now I think that you're discovering it's time to drop whatever this either act is or this shield is that you've had to create around yourself. It is a time for you and your authentic self to come out. For some of you, this might actually be a point of self-discovery with it. What does it even mean to be you? Some of you, you know exactly what this is, and there's a point of disappointment that you have been afraid of, which is why you've kept this under wraps. The reality of you is nothing to be ashamed of, but it's an old karma and overcoming that you actually have to, be brave with. The big lesson in this is overcoming what you fear is the most shameful aspects of yourself. It is not an actual shamefulness. This is, it's kind of like an ego death. But whoever put this on you, this was something that was continuously put on, a continual pressure. For some of you, this might mean people vicariously living through your success or having to hide parts of your personality, which again, they weren't really shameful. So with you and letting your true self debut, what do you have to look forward to? Yeah, you got the Justice. I think that you're honestly going to feel whole and at peace. That's kind of funny to think about, whole and peace. All right, I'm not laughing at you. It's not that. It's just, it's a funny way of putting it. So what parts of you have you repressed? You might lose some relationships in your life, but I can almost guarantee you they were going to fall away regardless. It seems very one-sided, very unfulfilling, and you want to know what? Cut your losses, because you have so much better coming in, baby. Oh, I love this. This is great. This is great. So it looks like you are having a point of self-discovery right now, and I really feel like you're letting some aspect of greatness shine through. So we have the High Priestess here. We have these. So what I'm seeing in here is getting over this fear of aversion, because you have been leveling up. You've been working on your personal quality and how you feel about that in yourself, and not really worrying about who's going to abandon you anymore. I really feel like this has given you a new lease on, I think, your future. You've really changed your destiny. I have more cards in front of me that I'm about to show you. You're at this new beginning, and I see a new passion that is just driving you through all of this. It's like something finally, a switch flipped inside of you. And what I see is you not being impulsive, but acting on spontaneous inspiration. There you go. Hi. You're not going to waste any more time. You are going to seize the day. You are not going to let past failures, past pains overrule you. We have two cards here directly talking about seizing opportunity, seizing the day. You'd be a fool to absolutely let this go. And in fact, that's a test that is coming up. There's going to be an offer that is coming your way. Are you going to repeat the pattern and cycle? Is part of the shadow work going to come out of this? Or are you going to understand it as shadow work and release it? I see that this is a new heart and lease on life. You really have the opportunity to create some magic. I feel like this is very powerful coming in. I feel like it's destiny. Not only has that taken a massive shift, it's now appearing in your life. Your destiny is waiting for you. You are the person who's fulfilling it. And there's really nothing that can hold you back. So I want to look at the past failures, and I want to see why this would hold you back. So we're going to get a final card from Spirit. Actually, not final, because of how much you put into those past experiences. But that wasn't really you and your identity, now was it? This was a card that you were playing about yourself. So letting that not rule you, and not letting past failures rule you, because of how much you put into it. How's this going to, oh my God. Perfection. This is perfection and desire, passion all in one. I flippin' love this. So you've ascended. Awesome. Congratulations. And you survived your ascension, which somebody who's gone through it, that can be very difficult. So I'm giving you props right there, right off the bat. It seems like a peaceful resolution in your life. It does. It has to be peaceful on the other side of this, because the war is over. And in fact, there's a song stuck in my head. It's by the band Stars, in our bedroom after the war. The song is "The War is Over." Go listen to it. That might have some meaning for you. But you've gone through the ascension. You've made a peaceful resolution with life. Wouldn't you know it? You truly have mastered yourself, and you have such a firm standing in your life. Now, what has occurred in your life has not been easy, and in fact, you could have given up numerous times, but there was a thread of hope that you that you've hung on to. So I see, instead of carrying this chip on your shoulder into this ascended life, which is kind of like the next life for you, you are moving through with peace and sincerity, and also playful reservations. I'm going to put it like that. It feels like Spirit is giving you kind of a peace offering, because the war that you just went through, I feel like you're timid in accepting it, but you see genuinely the pureness of whatever this gift is. There's a small preservation in hoping that it's not another attack. Honestly, I got it. It's not like anything could knock you out anymore anyways. It's just like a matter of, do I really want to do this? And Spirit's like, no, trust me, you got this. Yeah, see, rebirth, all about it. So this is going to be a beautiful divine expression of self. It's creative. Creative is always a divine expression. It is a soul song. Your song has definitely gone through a change. It's a little bit more metal now. I'm just going to put that out there. However, let's look. Let's look and see what this gift is and what it's developing into. It's a lot of feminine energy. So I feel like creation is really embracing the nurturing and coddling aspect of self. It's not a time to always be on the defense with everything. And I think that you are putting your defenses down and taking a real leap into Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups is like a soulful bliss. This is actually a time where you might be a little indulgent in life. What is this indulgence about? This might be a two-parter. Tell me about the indulgence, Spirit. Yeah. Okay, no, seriously, tell me about the indulgence. This is kind of funny because it's like moving on, healing, moving on, calmer waters. God. So indulging in calmer waters. How would that be? That is so... All right. Okay. You might have a bout with overindulgence in whatever your earthly pleasure is. It's weird, as if it's a reward system with you. For some of you, this might be gambling. For some of you, this might be food, drink, other things. Could be any form of what your worldly thing was. So let's see what is going on here. How can you avoid it? Because while I'm all about some indulgence sometimes, this I feel like you need to be careful of. Okay, so the point around this is surround yourself with beauty and with tranquility. I do feel like this is surrounding yourself with sound and light. This might be creating an environment of Zen for you. It's a way to calm your nerves. So you have this peaceful resolution moving on into calmer waters. You are going to need to create a soothing environment. Otherwise, you will run the risk of being overindulgent in whatever your thing was. So this is where the pessimism comes in. Why? A lot of heightened emotions right now, an overflow of emotions that I guess you're not sure of how to handle. Okay, feeling of overwhelm. This is making more sense. So this is cut the excess away from you in the moment so you do not give yourself into temptation, and really look at what's in your cup and what it is that you truly want and desire, and go after that. It's not going to be found in something superficial. So that is going to lead to even more problems, but also the shadow work that you need to do. This is something that you need to do in a very grounded way. So this is going to involve, well, creating a beautiful environment. Yeah. Hope this made sense.